Hello there and welcome along to the horseracing.net preview of day 4 of the 2020 York Ebor Festival. And this is being recorded on the back of Friday's action. It was a very good day if you follow Jim Crowley. He won each of the first 4 races on the card, landed a few multiples in the process and won the none thought for the second year running with the brilliant Batash, who once again proved supreme over sprint distances. Had to work hard for it. Keo Moro really made him work, but it reigned supreme again. And now you'd imagine heads to the Prix-l'Abbé in search of the perfect season. But we're going to look ahead to Saturday's action. It's a really competitive card. It's been a very competitive week of racing at York, as it always is. And we'll start with the feature race of the entire week, the 340, the Ebor Handicap. And this is as wide open as you'd expect it to be. The prize money isn't quite as big as usual. That's because of the coronavirus pandemic, but still a lovely amount to play for. £140,000 to the winner. And we will have a full complement of 22 runners, provided that there isn't an absolute deluge of rain over the next 24 hours or so. And the current favourite at the time of recording is Fujairah Prince at 6-1. You may remember him from Royal Ascot, absolutely hosed up in the Copper Horse Handicap over this trip. 3 3/4 length winner. That was a career best. He's up £9 for that to a mark of 108. It's going to be a very, very tricky ask for him, but he's still very lightly raced for his age. He's a 6-year-old. He's only had 7 starts so far. He's clearly a fragile type, but potentially could improve his record here, particularly when you consider that 6-year-olds have won 3 of the last 4 runnings of this race. One age group that doesn't have a great record is 4-year-olds. Only 3 of them have won that this century, which means each of Trushan, Pondus, Monica Sheriff and Pablo Escobar all have something to prove here, but they all have a chance on form, while Hochfeld, he's got to sneak into this race. He's number 24. That means he needs 2 to come out to get in. But if he does, he'd be on a lovely mark for the Mark Johnston team, who do very well at their local track, York. In terms of the bet, I think the way to go here is with an Irish Raider. True Self represents Willie Mullins, who won this back in 2009. And she's got some terrific form under her belt. She was 6th in the York Ebor last year off a mark that's £2 higher. And she's run really well since. She went down to Australia in search of the Melbourne Cup, didn't get a run, but that didn't matter. She won a Group 3 to make up for it over slightly short than this trip at Flemington. Sounds like this is the plan for her. She's had 2 runs so far this season, both in group company. She'll arrive here fit. She's on a good mark, one that's lower than last year. Should have a very good pace to aim at as well. True Self ticks plenty of boxes, about 9-1. She can take this prize over the Irish Sea to the Willie Mullins yard. Look at the rest of the card now at York. But before we do, a quick message to say that this video is once again sponsored by our friends at Paddy Power. Do head over to paddypower.com for enhancements on each and every race on Saturday at York. And each and every price mentioned and that comes up on the screen is from paddypower.com. So the 150 is the Group 3 Strensall Stakes. This is a contest over a mile and a furlong, 9 furlongs. And to be quite honest, I'm very sweet on Dark Vision here. He arrives here in very good form, Dark Vision. He was very much in the wilderness last year after being a smart 2-year-old. He perhaps didn't quite show the talent that we all know he had, but he still ran very, very well. And things seem to have clicked into place this season for Mark Johnston. He won the Royal Hunt Cup, of course, at Royal Ascot in June. That was a really good performance. Was then an excellent second at Sandown and got back on track in a listed race at Pontefract last time out. He's a group performer. He already has group winning form. Considering that this is very much a resurgence for Dark Vision, it feels like there could be more to come from him yet. This looks a very good opportunity for him to make a winning return to group company. I think he'll take it. The biggest danger is probably Lord Glitters. Dark Vision's on his way up. Lord Glitters drops in class today. You'll know him very well. Won the Queen Anne a couple of years ago. Generally holds his form really well. He was an excellent second. He was an excellent third in the Group 2 race here at York over further last time out. The York Stakes over 10 furlongs. Generally saves his best form though for Ascot. So for me, Dark Vision is a confident pick in the owner. Second race is at 225. This is a heritage handicap. It's the Melrose Handicap. Sky Bet sponsored again. Over 1.6 mile. One for the stayers, 3-year-old stayers. Very, very hot race this. Plenty with a chance. Favourite Moon is the favourite at the time of recording for the William Haggas team. Kieran Fallon takes a useful £3 off. His form looks really strong. He beat Subjectivist at Haydock over 2 furlongs shorter at the beginning of last month. Subjectivist has franked that form since. He's got very, very good claims here, but will need more under a £7 rise. Kipps has run 3 times so far this year, hasn't won, but has shown strong form. Can't discount him. While there's loads here arriving on a roll, each of Mambo Knights, Coltrane and King's Charisma have won at least twice already so far this season. Cannot discount any of them. Plenty to consider, but I think Bodyline is the way to go. He's got a really interesting profile. He's been shaping well, and if you go back and watch his most recent effort back in June at Newmarket, I thought he shaped really well. It was over slightly shorter than this trip. It was over 1.5 miles, so he should be suited by further. And he was only second that day, but he took an awful long time to organise himself that time around. Strikes me as one who'll really, really appreciate the step up to 1.6 mile. He's a son of Australia. He's bred to stay further. Strikes me as one who's not done improving yet. He's on a very good mark of 87. This is very, very competitive, but 8-1, Bodyline ticks loads of boxes for me. I would go with him. The 3 o'clock is the City of York Stakes. This is over 7 furlongs, Group 2 contest. And for me, One Master is going to take a lot of beating for the William Haggas team. She's a brilliant performer. She's very much at home over this trip. 7 furlongs very much requires a specialist. But she's already got proven form of this trip. She's a Group 1 winner, and she won the Group 3, what was it called? The Oak Tree Stakes, the Group 3 Oak Tree Stakes at Goodwood last time out. That was a really good performance because she only got up in the dying strides that day. Bit of a muddling race. She very much showed her class to get up in the closing stages. She's got proven top level form under her belt. This is a pretty warm race, but I think she'll prove too strong in what should be a pretty evenly run affair. Loads of threats though, none more so than threat. He's been crying out for this sort of trip for a long time. He's been moving between 1 mile and 6 furlongs to no avail. Clearly talented though, cannot discount him for the Richard Hannon team. And then lots of types here arriving with varying degrees of form. Safe Voyage is a smart type, beaten by Space Blues last time, but no shame in that. Sandonato needs to bounce back from the Sussex Stakes last time out, but this is more of his game. And Escobar as well, very, very smart handicapper, ran really well in Group 2 company in the Lennox Stakes behind Space Blues last time out as well. So loads to consider, but One Master for me at 7-4. Nearly there now, on to race 5, the Julia Graves Roses Stakes, the 410. This is a listed contest for the 2-year-olds and some really lovely bred types in here, including the unbeaten Blackberry for Brian Smart. Smaller yard, 2 wins so far at Hamilton and Doncaster respectively. Cannot discount him up in grade. But the one that makes the most appeal to me is Politics for the powerful Qatar Racing owners. Loads to like about his pedigree, half brother to several winners, and was really taken by his effort to win at Sandown earlier this month. Showed both a really good attitude and plenty of ability as well. Knuckled down really well to get off the mark, pulled clear in the closing stages, and that form has worked out very well. The runner-up has won since. Fancy him to take another step forward here and follow up in listed company. But yeah, loads to consider. Ben McDewey is the favourite, placed in a Group 3 last time out at Goodwood. Cannot discount that. And Winter Power is interesting as well at about 10-1. She absolutely hosed up at Redcar, you may remember, at the end of last month. She was then a very, very warm favourite at Goodwood at handicap level. She disappointed in no uncertain terms, but she's clearly talented. If she can bounce back from that was a quick turnaround that day at Goodwood. She may not be one to discount yet. And Acklam Express as well won back-to-back events at Hamilton and Goodwood. Cannot discount them either. But Politics for me, for Andrew Balding and Oisin Murphy. 2 to go, the 440 Sky Bet Handicap. Once again, Sky Bet sponsored. This is over 10 furlongs, 1.2 mile. 17 go to post, absolutely wide open contest. But personally, I think it's very difficult to look past May Danny. You may remember I tipped him up at Goodwood last month, absolutely hosed up in what looked a very competitive race at first glance. Pulled away, really impressive. He faces an £11 rise for that here, but he's pretty lightly raced for his age as a 4-year-old. Every reason to think that there could be more to come from him yet. He strikes me as a classy type, could be a pattern performer in time. Jim Crowley has had a really good week in the Armac Toon colours. 4 winners on Friday, of course. So yeah, fancy him to go in, May Danny. But Sinjari is a really big threat. Won the John Smith's Cup over course and distance last time. He's up £8, cannot discount him. And Derevo and Sky Defender are just 2 more to consider in a wide open contest. Okay, on to the finale now at 5:10. This is an apprentice race over 5 furlongs. Sky Bet sponsored once again. 10 runners due to go to post. Wide open stuff. And if you may remember from the Goodwood video last month, when I talked about an apprentice race, we closed the festival with one there. Sometimes jockey bookings can mean just as much as the horse's ability or form. And Kieran Fallon was successful in that race. I think he's got another wonderful ride here in the form of Sampers 7. She's a real upwardly mobile sprinter and impressed when absolutely hosing up over this trip at York last month. She's been put up in the weights for that £10 rise, but this is just her 5th start for the Mick Appleby team since switching stables. Very shrewd operation. She looks a really progressive type. I think there's more to come from her yet. And yeah, the booking of Kieran Fallon, he's got a very bright future, really good for this level. He showed his class last time at Goodwood in this sort of race. Could be another shrewd booking here, but loads of dangers. Morass, well fancy for the Stewards Cup at the beginning of the month at Goodwood. Ran really well to finish 6th. Shoulders a big weight here, but a classy type. And Wonderwork is another in-form one to consider. But Sampers 7 for me to finish the card with a winner. So that was a look at the card at York on Saturday. Thanks so much if you've been tuning in all week. As I mentioned, these videos were sponsored by Paddy Power. Big thank you to them for doing that. And if you're enjoying, please do like the videos, subscribe, and we'll be back soon, probably for the St Ledger Festival. But head over to horseracing.net to keep up to date with everything. And on Twitter as well, we'll keep you posted about when these videos are up next. But until then, take care and we'll speak soon.